Hi all, welcome to the Marquee Matchups for the 2nd of January. Not as much to cover this week just due to the winter break, but also cups are playing in factor for a few nations as well. So hopefully you find this useful. As always guys, we nailed 2 spot on and we nailed one of the leagues but just not the right teams, but hopefully you find this useful. As always guys, smash like so, always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GZLegend. All links are down below for posts on the channel and social media links as always. So first route of the week comes in the form of Portugal with Benfica versus Sporting in the Portuguese Cup. Hard to say where they could go with this, other than obviously the standard 1 or 2 players from both teams. From there, handful of rares, handful of maybe nations, and don't expect, and also potentially expect a requirement focused on Portuguese players. So be fully aware of that, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Portuguese players. 6 out of 10 for likelihood. Biggest problem is due to the lack of options, what could they really else go for? This is the theme this week, everything is a 6 out of 10, so be fully aware of that, nothing stands out. Italy has 2 options with Juventus versus Torino and Napoli versus Atalanta in the Cup. Same applies, it could be a theme this week where everything could be cup oriented, where a couple of the options that are picked could be the cup, so you could have two cup games, 2 league games, it could be that kind of theme. But Juventus Torino, obviously it's a Turin derby. Napoli versus Atalanta is important between both teams, however Atalanta just had the game with Milan, so my feeling Juventus Torino is more likely, but don't be surprised if they pick a Calcio A option in general, where it involves Inter or someone else that's in the Italian Cup. So that would be my feeling. I would say as long as you're prepared for the league, you're more than covered. For the marquee matchups, I would assume from Italy, both would be 6 out of 10. But Juventus Torino is my more stronger shout. Niang is going to be quite a common card. Then Australia, you've got Newcastle Jets versus Sydney, but also Newcastle Jets versus Central Coast Mariners. The way the fixtures work, it seems to suggest there would be 2 games in the game week window. First game's played on the 3rd, then the second one's played on the 6th, I believe, if I've got my dates right. But Newcastle versus Sydney is a top 2 clash, and Newcastle Jets versus, if both teams are still top 2, come in that game, and Newcastle Jets versus Central Coast Mariners is an actual derby. It would suggest to me going the goals is a smart option, and then maybe mixing between bronze and silvers. As a low league option, it has a very strong shout, and obviously SPFL has just happened, so my feeling would be this has a strong happening, good chance of happening. Obviously doesn't fall into prime icons at all. And over to Spain with Sevilla versus Betis, which is a derby between both, and a bit of importance between both teams, and wouldn't be surprised me if an option in general from the league popped up. Smart options, Sevilla, you've got like Navas, Sarabia, Escudero, Langlet, Betis is Mande, Guardado, these kind of players. So and most of them are cheap, so you're not going to find yourself short of options whatsoever. But as long as you're covered to a 79 rated squad, I would say you've covered the high end, and you're not going to find yourself short in any stretch of the imagination. But as I say, don't feel that you're going to be shortchanged at all. I'd say there's going to be an option maybe from Spain due to the lack of options. And finally, Spurs versus West Ham and Arsenal versus Chelsea. I got my dates completely wrong. I put these down for last week's one when I meant to put them. I had them also down on the sheet for this week. But still, Spurs versus Chelsea, Spurs versus West Ham, big game. Arsenal versus Chelsea, both big games. In terms of marquee matchups and SBCs in general, I would fancy one of them to happen, but I'd also fancy an EPL option in general, where it be like with Man United, Manchester City, one of these sort of teams, maybe even Newcastle, whoever. But a team, 2 teams from EPL I should fancy this week. But the way marquee matchups seem to be, it's not flat out marquee, it's more a case of trying to pick out which ones are actual games they're going to pick. As I said, the 4 that I would go for this week would be Arsenal, Juventus, then Benfica, then probably the Newcastle Jets game. That's the way I'm kind of thinking. I would say they might go one or two league games and 2 cup games. hopefully you find this useful as always, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you fancy. Remember to check out everyone involved in the predictions league as always. I'll leave their links down in the description below. Take it easy all, thanks for watching, take it easy, and I will catch you all later for more FIFA 18 content.